But if it's in your schedule every day, then you're gonna have to do something active, whether that's mobility, maybe you only have 20, 15 minutes to stretch. Maybe you have an hour this one day because you got off work early. Now you can do some more strength training and maybe some increased cardio.
Welcome to Baptist Health Talk, a podcast on all things healthcare, powered by Baptist Health South Florida, your trusted source for healthcare prevention and wellness.
Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Johanna Gomez. Welcome back to a new episode of Baptist Health Talk, where we answer your most searched questions on trending health topics. Today, we're taking a closer look at how to start your fitness goals the right way, focusing on smart movement, debunking common exercise myths, and building a routine that works with your body, not against it. We're joined by Dr. Stephen Hale, primary sports medicine physician with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Thank you for being here. It's great to have you here. And every single one of us has done it. We'll do it. January 1st, yes. I'm starting my new diet, my new goals. Why is it that we always do this? Is it because we're creatures of habits and we've heard so many people do it? Because it kind of sets us up to fail, I think that's
part of it, but I also think we tend to probably forget about our health and forget about our diet and exercise throughout the year. And then we're just constantly reminded again at that New Year's and you're like, oh yeah, maybe I should have worked on that throughout the year. And so now's the time and everyone gets motivated. Everyone starts going to the gym together. So I think it's a perfect time to kind of restart your exercise routine.
Okay, so you just mentioned the fact that we forget about it. Why do you feel that we just kind of start? We're like, so we're coming out hot from the gate, we're doing this. And then we're like, yeah, it's January 30th. I'm kind of done now. I've moved on.
Yeah, I mean, we're all working hard. We're working 5 days a week. Our weekend is 2 days long. And on those 2 days that we have our freedom, so most of us have family members that we want to hang out with. We have other things that we enjoy that we want to do. Life in general. Yeah, so I think exercise kind of gets put a little bit lower on everyone's list of to-dos.
Yeah. So is it safe to say that if we start slow and maybe build up, that's the important way to go about this?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Slow progress is definitely what's important. You're minimizing your risk of injury with that. So start slow. People come off too aggressively way too early in the start. Don't go very hard in the beginning. You're going to make yourself miserable with those very intense workouts. And the first few workouts are probably not going to feel great either because you're trying to get back in shape.
True.
So definitely start slow, make it fun, do something enjoyable, and that'll help it stick around a little bit longer.
Okay, so you are the expert in this. Is it true that in January, you see a lot more sports-related injuries than what you do throughout the year?
For sure.
Because maybe we start off going hard.
Yeah, and we're picking up new exercises. We're trying new things. We're picking up new hobbies, and we may just not be prepared for that. I mean, pickleball is a great example because it's one of the latest crazes,
Wow, so many injuries.
Exactly. We're seeing so many. It's because people go from a relative inactive state and then they try to go out and play in a pickleball tournament, and that's just too much too soon.
Yeah. Okay, so we know that we obviously see that drop off, right? They say February. I'm going to go with, I think it's the third week of January.
Yeah.
I think there's even a statistic that's out that says people start to drop by the end of the month. So we can't even do it for 30 days. There's a quick burnout.
Yeah.
You say it's life, or is it something else?
I think it's a combination. So one, it's people want to focus on their life, but I think it's not being consistent. Consistency is the biggest issue here. Some people try to do too intense workouts and they're going to burn out from that. It's not fun for them. And to go work out and not have fun, it just doesn't go together. So the key is going to be staying consistent. Make the workouts fun. Bring a friend or a significant other to the workouts. That'll help you stay consistent. They'll rely on you to show up every single time, and just don't do too much and make it too hard. Do something you enjoy.
So do you think consistency is going to help us stick to those long-term goals?
For sure.
And going with a friend, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that probably will make it a little bit easier. But for someone who hasn't worked out in a really long time, it's kind of hard to get into it. What do you recommend is a good place to just starting out?
I think it depends on kind of your activity level previously and
Okay.
like your experience with exercise. So someone that's well experienced in exercise, maybe was a, college athlete or something, they're going to be able to go right back to the gym and kind of pick up where they left off, maybe with some light weights and then pick it up from there. Somebody that's less experienced, maybe doesn't like the gym, I would probably recommend doing some exercises at home, maybe looking up some fun things to do on YouTube, follow along the exercise video. And then other people that are kind of new to exercise, maybe some classes where there's some leaders that can help guide you through exercises.
A trainer.
And trainers, exactly, to teach you those things so that you're better experienced when you go to work out on your own.
Okay, so you mentioned consistency and that being like the main thing of like really sticking through this. People really want to see results right away. I've been there. I'm like, I've been working out for 3 weeks and I don't see a big change. When should we realistically just start saying, okay, maybe by March I can see a little change?
Yeah, I mean,
Which, by the way, I know that it changes for everybody what your goal is, right?
Exactly. Your goals are different. And I think results are going to be highly dependent on that too.
Right.
But I think you should focus on just exercise as being healthy, like feeling better overall. You may not look better right away, but it's better for your health in the long term. It's better for your cardiovascular health. Your risk of diseases like hypertension, diabetes will be decreased. So focus more on being consistently healthy rather than the results and what you see in the mirror or what you see, the number you see on the scale may not be important. Okay.
Right, it's true. But diet has a lot to do with working out. A lot of people are like, I'm going to work out every day, but I'm going to go ahead and eat a cheeseburger. And add some sauce and
that just
fries.
Gets rid of that exercise you just did.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Okay. Can we talk about the diet? And when I say, can we talk about it? Because you're just talking to me right
Talk
now.
right at you.
Right at me.
So diet is as important, maybe if not more important than exercise when it comes to like seeing results quicker.
Okay.
In the long term, they're pretty equivalent, but short term, diet's probably a little bit more important. We always talk about like a calorie deficit when you're trying to like lose weight and see results. And that means calories in should be less than calories out, or calories consumed less than the calories you burn through exercise and your daily activities. And
so what you're telling me is that the cookie I had right after I worked out today,
in the end, it's a lot easier to eat calories than it is to burn those calories. So you can work out really hard for 1 hour, but if you eat one poor meal with lots of calories, you just kind of got rid of that workout.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. So I think that now we all know my goal for this year, maybe just watch what I'm eating.
Yeah.
But if you are just trying to stay consistent, maybe it balances out a little bit. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I think people kind of struggle with the diets, they try to do too much. And I always say those like diet fads that they try to go into, it's kind of unreliable, okay? I always recommend make one small change a week, okay? So whether you're going to cut out a certain fast food or snack food in your diet, make that one change each week.
Oh, that's a good
and
advice.
Then progress on it.
Okay.
So that you slowly build, because if you change your entire diet, it can happen. You can do it, but it's harder to stick to. You're gonna revert back to your old habits.
So if I am going to pick one goal for this year, right? Because I also think what we do is we pile on too many goals and they kind of just get all wonky in between and you don't even know what your goal is anymore. Yeah. But if I have to pick one, would you say working out is more important than what you eat, or the other way around, or they both go hand in hand?
Yeah, I'm going to say
you just get one.
As a doctor, I'm going to say they go hand in hand. Diet and exercise is important. I can't recommend one without the other. I think they're both important. What you put into your body, the nutrients you get is just as important as staying active and exercising.
Okay, how about stretching? It's something that we don't do. It's the last thing you either do of your workout, and I'm guilty. I'm done, and I walk right out. Like, I'm done. I did it. I clocked in. Goodbye, and I forget to
You'll learn your lesson as you get older.
As
you get older,
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You'll feel it. I mean, it wasn't until like my late 20s, 30s when I was like, okay, I need to start warming up, because you pull a muscle right away, right? So a warm muscle is more flexible. It's better to withstand the stresses of a workout, but a stiff, cold muscle, so much more prone to tearing and injury. So I think stretching and a warm up, I do a 5 to 10 minute warm up on the treadmill every single time before a workout. And then I try to spend a few minutes activating the muscle groups that I'm going to work out too prior to lifting more weights with them.
But is this in conjunction with my 1 hour workout? Okay, it's good. So
So usually like about 15 minutes of that 1 hour workout, spend warming up, doing some light stretches and stuff, and then get into your workout routine.
See, now I'm starting to be okay with maybe stretching if I add it to
it's
keep
quick,
it part of
but
my,
it's important. And you can
workout.
always do like a slight warm up and stretch on your off days too. Those are good recovery days of when to do like a yoga or a stretching to kind of recover, because it's not going to stress out your muscles too much.
What is a good way of us seeing the difference between being sore and actually we hurt something? Because I love that feeling of being sore.
Isn't it the best?
Yeah. It's a very good feeling. I know a lot of people don't like it.
You did a good workout and you're like, all right,
okay,
it's victory. Yeah. So soreness is more of like that dull ache that you'll feel. And it usually goes away within a few days after your exercise, right? Whereas pain that you should be concerned about is more severe, probably greater than a 3 out of 10 on that pain scale, maybe more sharp. Maybe you felt a popping sensation when you're working out. Maybe you've got some mechanical symptoms of like instability or some locking of a joint or something. Those are more concerning symptoms that I think you should probably go see an orthopedic surgeon about.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times while you're working out, you feel discomfort. You keep pushing through it.
Yeah. So, that's a good point to kind of bring up and talk about, because I think that's one of the common myths here. And you've all heard the phrase, no pain, no gain.
Oh, yeah. We hear it a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's one of the first myths that I kind of jump on in my practice. It's not a thing with orthopedic care here. Because if you have pain, that means there's a sign of inflammation going on.
Okay.
And to push through that pain means you're just going to worsen the inflammation. So pain means you should probably rest or alter your activities so that you give it time to heal and calm down before going back into it.
Okay.
Otherwise, pushing through that pain is just going to cause it to last longer, linger, or get worse.
Okay. But if it's something that doesn't get worse and it's just an uncomfortable pain, I'm going to use myself as an example.
Yeah.
My right hip, I've had, some issues with it in the same, like pain, discomfort, let's say that. But I continue pushing through it. And there's days that I am really in a lot of pain. How do I know, okay, I need to go see a specialist at this time? Because I can walk and I'm feeling okay when it comes to that. It's not.
Yeah, I think if it's lasting that long, if it's been weeks, months of you having this pain, I think it's time to go see someone about it.
Okay.
If it's a pain that's less than 3, then you can push through that pain most likely.
Okay, that's a good way.
But if it's getting worse than that, then definitely probably go see an orthopedic about it. Get evaluated. Sometimes it's even just, okay, are you too tight? You need to stretch more. Is there an imbalance of the muscles? Is one hip higher than the other? Is one stronger than the other? Are you favoring one because you cross your legs the same way every single time?
Look at that. You like that?
So I think there's a lot of things that we can kind of discover as physicians and maybe you just don't realize as a patient.
Okay. There is a common belief that you must work out every day. I do this. I feel that is a good way to just kind of stick to your goal. And a lot of people have told me you're absolutely wrong because you're making your hip pain worse. But I feel like even if one day I go for a walk, nothing crazy.
Yeah, sure.
I count that as a workout. And I think a lot of times you hear, oh, that's walking is not a workout. But I feel, yes, it does. It consists of workout. So how much should we work out every day? I feel like just getting your body moving, but
Yeah. So I would count that as like a mobility day.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay. So workout is maybe like your strength training or where you're kind of pushing yourself with a jog or a run or something. Whereas a mobility day may be something where you're stretching or
there
just
goes that
getting
stretching
active.
again.
Yeah, exactly. So yoga, stretching,
and Pilates.
walking around, Pilates. Pilates can be quite a workout too, though. So it just depends on the type, though. So
I think you need to say that again for all the men that need to hear that Pilates is a workout, right?
If you haven't been to Pilates, it's a workout. Yeah,
it's a workout.
If you're not shaking, you're not doing it right.
Exactly.
I forgot the question though.
No.
Repeat it again for me. So
should we work out every day?
Oh, every day. Yes.
Yeah.
So I would recommend, depending on your definition of workout. So there's mobility days, which are okay if you're considering those workouts, you can do that every day.
Okay.
But in terms of like strength training, where you're really stressing out those muscles, they need time to recover. So if you're working out too much, again, it may cause some inflammation, you may cause more pain, and then you may be prone to an injury because of that.
Okay.
So you have to be careful. There has to be enough recovery time. But if you're counting, let's say you do 3 or 4 strength training per week,
Okay.
and then you have days of walking in between,
Yeah.
that's technically you're recovering
Day.
your muscles. Yeah, your muscles are recovering because you're not technically really working them out too hard.
Okay.
And so that's an okay way to work out 5 days a week.
And is it okay to say that 5 days, but if you walk every other day, or if you just kind of do something every day, that's fine as well?
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's a great plan to have something in your schedule every day, because I think that's easier, because if you don't do it every day, then you're just going to kind of use an excuse and kind of push it off to the next day. But if it's in your schedule every day, then you're going to have to do something active, whether that's mobility, maybe you only have 20, 15 minutes to stretch. Maybe you have an hour this one day because you got off work early. Now you can do some more strength training and maybe some increased cardio.
Since you are the expert at this, what do you think you see the best health results overall? What should we do for that?
In terms of like exercise,
let's just talk about
or,
exercise.
I'm not going to name off which exercise is going to be the best health, like yoga, Pilates. Like, I think what's important is staying consistent. Again, we'll come back to that word. Consistency is key, because consistency for me may mean being in the gym, lifting weights, because that makes me feel stronger. Whereas consistency for someone else may mean swimming 4 or 5 times a week because that's what they enjoy. And I think that's what's important, is to make it fun, make it enjoyable, so that you stick with that routine.
We've been talking a lot of consistency and what you can do. And I know you don't want to say what someone should do, right? Everyone should do whatever makes them happy, just like you said, get you moving. But now let's talk about the positive side of your mental state. Yeah. Have you seen, with the research that you have seen and you have done, how much of this helps you mentally?
Oh my gosh, personal research as well. Like for me, helps me think clearer, it helps with your mental, so your mood, your energy throughout the day, concentration, anxiety, depression. There's so many benefits there. Just makes you feel more positive about yourself. So I think it's really empowering to exercise and eat healthy. It's like a reward for your body.
But the reality is that starting or restarting, sometimes it's tough. Yeah. What advice do you have on that?
So I feel like the people that have a difficult time restarting are those that are maybe less comfortable in the gym. And I feel they're scared, right? Intimidating, right? And I get it. And those are the people that I recommend, okay, start off at home, right? Get some weights, get some bands at home. Pull up a YouTube video. It's like my favorite thing to do, and follow along.
Okay.
You may not be able to do the entire workout, but you're going to do the exercises. You're going to do as many as you can. You're going to push yourself as much as you want without fear of judgment from anyone around you.
Yeah. Starting is really like probably the hardest thing, and walking into the gym. Yeah. Would you recommend for someone to, let's go back to the trainer.
Yeah.
It's not feasible for everyone.
Correct. Yeah.
But is there something that we can do? What do you recommend on that?
Yeah, if you can afford a trainer, I think trainers are fantastic because they can give you motivation. They can keep you honest. They'll be like, hey, what'd you have to eat today? You know, they're very great in that sense, and they'll help guide you through a workout. They'll push you harder than most people can push themselves in a normal workout. So I think it's very beneficial. But if you can't afford a trainer, find a good friend. Find someone that's more active than you, or is maybe has more experience in the gym, and tag along with them. Just ask them to, hey, can I tag along with you on your shoulder day or your leg day or whatever? You can learn the exercises, and then you'll feel more comfortable doing them on your own as well. That way you have a friend there too.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier. I've noticed on a lot of the fitness apps, they have sometimes 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute classes. Are those even worth doing?
It's worth it for new people to exercise, because you're going to learn those exercises, right? And then you're going to continue to build on that. Again, we don't want to do too much too soon. So if you're starting off in an hour class, too much. 5 minutes is probably way too quick, but maybe you're going to get there, warm up and leave. But 10, 15 minutes, if that's all the time you have, but maybe you have it multiple times throughout a day, then it's still beneficial. Any activity is going to be beneficial.
But you did say for someone who is starting, how about for someone who's been on this journey for a while? should they kind of stay away from these 5, 10 minute, 15-minute classes and focus more on longer classes?
Yeah, 30 minutes, an hour if you have it. But again, it's based off that person's schedule and the intensity of the workout. So you've heard of HIIT interval or high intensity interval training, HIIT classes. Those can be very beneficial in a short amount of period. And those classes can be 30 minutes long, 15 minutes. And if that's all you have and you do an intense workout, it's almost as beneficial as a 30-minute or an hour-long workout where you're just doing moderate intensity.
What is your one piece of advice that you have for anyone that is watching or listening right now as they get ready to start a new year and have all these goals for themselves?
Yeah, well, one is going to be plan to be consistent, right? I'm going to keep using that word,
hard,
but put it in your schedule, put it in your calendar.
Yeah.
Assign it to a routine that's already established. So every day you walk the dog. Okay, when you go walk the dog, add in a couple squats or push-ups after you walk them or before you walk them, and then build on that. And then make it part of your routine so that you don't make excuses of why not to go to the gym.
Easier said than done
for sure.
To avoid injuries, right? You're like, okay, what do you think we should kind of stay away from?
So it's starting slow and not progressing too fast. Okay, so we recommend maybe increasing the weights or intensity by about 5 to 10% per week.
Per week.
So that may be a good adjustment. So if you're squatting 100 pounds, let's give math for an example here. If you're squatting 100 pounds, 5 to 10% would be adding 5 to 10 pounds on to that squat per week. So that's as slow as the progression to really save yourself from injuring, because it's the people that feel really good. Man, this 100 pounds is nothing. Let's go up to 200. Now you've got back pain, hip pain, and everything else. So
I'm agreeing with you.
It's very hard not to put on that more weight and challenge yourself.
Yeah.
But when you're starting off in January, take it slow.
Take it slow. I love that. Take it slow and be consistent.
Yep.
And I would say be easy on yourself, right? Like when you miss a week or two, it's okay.
Hey, not every workout is going to be killer. You're not going to feel great after every workout. There are days where it's hard after work. You're going to the gym. You're already tired from a long day of work. And you just don't feel great at the gym, but you showed up.
Yeah.
That's the consistency, and that's what's important. You may not have a good workout, but you burn more calories going to the gym than you did going home and sitting on the couch.
Very true. I learned a lot from this conversation. So thank you so much for your time, for all your insight, and for sharing it with all of our audience. Remember, to our viewers, be sure to hit that subscribe button on our channel here to keep up with the latest health and wellness information and tips from our experts. Thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy.
Find additional valuable health and wellness information on our resource blog at baptisthealth.net/news. And be sure to interact with us on our social media channels for live and upcoming events. Baptist Health Talk is brought to you by Baptist Health, the warmer side of care.